the stillness of the night, there comes a time to understand, to reach out and touch tomorrow, take the future in our hand. We can see a new horizon built on all that we have done, and our dreams begin another thousand circles around the sun. Bring the heart to the joy and through the tears. Bring the heart to discover new frontiers. Moving on with the current of the years. Bring the heart moving forward now as one. Moving on with the spirit born to run. With each rising sun to a new day we go on.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We call it ImagineEars.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the ImagineEars Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am not joined this evening by my good friend and co-host, Susie. She is a little under the weather, and it's quite fitting because it is very much raining outside of my window, so kind of fits the mood. So hopefully Susie will be on the mend soon. Hope she's feeling better. For our patrons, we do have our Patreon and trivia night still planned for this evening. Immediately following this show at 9:15, I will be hosting that, so we will go on with that as planned. But this evening on the podcast, it's just me. So sorry about that, but good to see you all this evening. Hope you are having a wonderful week. We have been really busy the past few weeks. We haven't put out as many episodes as we would have liked, but that's because, again, we were just really busy. I was out of town. I've been out of town the past couple of weeks. We went on vacation. I will get to that because that is going to be the topic of discussion for this evening. We had such a great time at the Contemporary. I thought it'd be just a really good opportunity to talk about all of the updates, all of the changes that the Contemporary has seen over the past year or so. Really good changes. Quickly becoming one of my favorite resorts for a lot of reasons. But also, last week. One of the reasons we didn't have a show was because I was feverishly working on a video project for Travelmation. We hit a huge milestone in Travelmation's history. 10 years, we have seen our 1,000th agent sign on, Mr. Matt McKee from Georgia. So, a good friend of ours, Jessica, his wife, has been an agent for many, many, many years. And we are just excited to have this milestone. Travelmation is a place to be if you love to travel, if you love planning trips for people. Maybe you uh, are the Disney person in your family and or your friend, your circle of friends, and they want to know all the tips and tricks, and they come to you. Well, this is a good outlet maybe for you. So if you're interested in joining our wonderful team, send me an email. I would love to have a chat with you. You can email me by typing in our email, which is Imagineers Disney Imagineers podcast at gmail.com. And not only can we help you with your vacation, but if you are looking for a new home, for maybe trying a different career, I'd be happy to discuss that with you. But it's a great place. I've been with Travelmation for over 6 years now. One of the best decisions of my life. So we'd love to have you on the team. So shoot me an email and we'll chat. So going in tonight's discussion. So 2 weeks ago, my wife and I and our daughter, EBK, we took a little trip down to Disney World and we stayed at Disney's Contemporary Resort. Uh, Iconic resort, has opening day resort for Walt Disney World. Um, it's well known for its construction and design. All of the rooms were individually slid in and then decorated. So it's very unique in that way. You have the Grand Canyon Concourse, the iconic Grand Canyon Concourse in the center of the building. Both the express monorail and the resort monorail travel through the building, and it's also home to a lot of dining options. And we'll definitely be touching on that here this evening. But recently, the Contemporary went through a room upgrade. So when you stay at the Contemporary, there are three buildings. So there is Bay Lake Tower, which is the DVC resort, but then there's the main tower, which is what we were just looking at. And then there's also the garden wing. So there are a series of connected buildings outside of the main building that is called the garden wing, and that's actually where we were. And don't let that fool you. Even though you're not in the main building, you can still have a really nice view, maybe, and we'll get into that here in a second. But when you're staying in the main tower, you primarily have two views. You're either on one side of the resort or the other. One of those sides overlooks Bay Lake, and then the other side will be your theme park view rooms. So obviously, those are super popular. Most of the time, those sell out way in advance. So if you ever desire to stay at the Contemporary and just, want to watch the fireworks from the bed of your resort room, you can pretty much do that with the theme park rooms. But really great views there. But I want to talk especially about the garden wing, because if you are in a specific spot in the garden wing, which is where we actually got a view of Bay Lake as well. So when we woke up one morning, the sun started coming up, and this is what we were looking at. So you can absolutely have one of the most spectacular views in all of Walt Disney World from the comfort of your own room at the garden wing and the Contemporary. So all of the rooms at the Contemporary, both in the main tower and the garden wing, recently went through a renovation and a retheme. So they have recently just been rethemed to The Incredibles. So I was sure to snap a few pictures of those, but they have redesigned them to it's more of a mid 20th century modern. So very in theme for The Incredibles. if you are big fans of those movies. So probably a lighter color palette than what was previously there, but then you have those splashes of orange, especially with the sofa there. And that sofa, by the way, does turn into a single bed. So if technically you can have a party of five, up to five people in this room, two for each of the queen beds, and then the pull out sofa. And here's another closer look at that sofa as well. So again, very bright orange colors there. Got a decorated throw pillow. And speaking of throw pillows, Edna Mode featured on one of the throw pillows for the two queen beds. And one of the great updates for this room is also the bathroom. So you get the monorail themed mirror, which is super nice. You also have a very luxurious shower. So dual shower head there, and again, very nice, a very nice upgrade from what was previously there. Then, of course, you have all of your amenities like your coffee maker, which is a Keurig, and they actually have the 50th anniversary blend right now for those K cups, delicious coffee. And then, with the modern update, there are now several outlets, both on each side of the bed, both regular standard outlets and also USB ports to charge all of your electronic devices. So great updates on the room. I love the theming, especially if you have kids who are a fan of The Incredibles. This is a great room option for you. And I cannot emphasize enough, one of the big draws for the Contemporary is the proximity to Magic Kingdom. And we took advantage of this literally every single day. So we did go to Magic Kingdom twice during our stay. And each of those days, in fact, on all of the all of the days, whether it didn't matter what park we were going to, we always came back to take a nap. It's a good way to escape the heat of the day and then go back to the parks in the evening. So that was a nice thing that we got to do. And on days that we went to Magic Kingdom, the proximity to Magic Kingdom is definitely a plus, especially when you have small kids. So you have a couple of options to get to Magic Kingdom from the Contemporary. The first one is, of course, the iconic monorail. So when you are picked up from the Contemporary on the monorail, you will actually have a few stops before you go to Magic Kingdom. You have the Ticket and Transportation Center. Then the next stop is the Polynesian, then Grand Floridian, and then finally at the Magic Kingdom when you are coming again from the Contemporary Resort, and then on your way back to the Contemporary. So this comes in super handy at the end of park close or after fireworks or after a Halloween or Christmas party, and you're really tired and you really want to get back to your room. The Contemporary is the first stop on the monorail, or you can also walk. It's probably about a 10-minute walk, depending on how fast you're walking or how tired you are. But easy walk from the Contemporary to Magic Kingdom and back. So yeah, that's one of the big pluses for sure. And then let's talk about dining. So there are 4 dining options for you at the Contemporary. The first one is the Contempo Cafe, and I'm going to pull up one of the photos that I already showed earlier. You can see that down in the bottom right. This is a quick service location. The Contempo Cafe is going to have sandwiches and a flatbread pizza and actually a halfway decent burger. And then, of course, soft drinks. And then it's kind of like a little mini mart for you to be able to go pick up things throughout the day. But then there's also Chef Mickey's. Chef Mickey's is located also on this. So this is easily one of the most popular character meets at Disney World. Very, very difficult to get sometimes for reservations. If you want a reservation and characters are super important to you, it's important that we get those locked in as quickly as possible as soon as your window opens up 60 days before your trip. So I'm going to be completely honest. I'm always honest. At least I try to be when it comes to Disney World and the Disney experience. The experience here is primarily for the characters. So you will have Mickey Mouse and Minnie and Goofy and Donald and Pluto, and they all come out in their chef's attire. They do the biscuit dance, and every character will come around to your table at least once through your seating. So um, you don't have to worry about missing a character. Just stay put while you are at your dinner service if you can, and don't go off and run to the restroom. If you have to do that, do it immediately after a character leaves. You'll have just a few minutes because they do make their rounds throughout your seating. And yeah, it's a great character experience, great photo opportunity. They take in a nice amount of time with your kids and with your family. So it's a good time for photos and video, whatever you want to do. So, and then they actually give you a pre autographed um, photo of all of those characters riding the monorail. So you can get your character signatures there as well. But I will talk about the food real quick. So before COVID, this was a buffet. I think eventually they will go back to the buffet style. We have not heard word when that would take place or if they're doing it at all. But it is right now family style. So everything comes out to you family style, and it starts with some bread service. Bread was very good. Then they bring out a variety of salads. There is a kind of a house salad. Then they have a shrimp salad with avocado. This is probably my favorite one of the bunch. And then there was like a quinoa and grain salad over there on the top left. Then they have an appetizer, which was a gnocchi. Definitely not, probably not my favorite dish, probably my least favorite of the group. But things did improve significantly when we went to the vegetables. So the vegetables were very well done. The rice, the carrots, green beans, and the potato gratin was spectacular. Easily one of the best highlights of that meal. Then they bring you different meats. The salmon, so you have salmon, and then there is pork tenderloin, and then a beef. And the salmon was cooked beautifully. It was delicious, flavorful. So overall, not too bad. The pork and the beef was a little dry, but again, they are serving a ton of people all at once. So again, that's kind of uh, you have to give and take a little bit on expectations sometimes with some of these because again, I feel like this location in general is really for the characters, but I was pleasantly surprised by how good some of the dishes were that were given to us. Then, of course, you have your dessert, chocolate chip cookies. There was an apple pie, little tartlet, delicious strawberry cake, and then chocolate Mickey Mouse mousse pieces. So that is Chef Mickey's. And then probably the highlight experience, the pinnacle experience for dining at the Contemporary. I didn't actually do it this trip, but recently I have done it, and they are still doing the 50th anniversary menu at the Contemporary. So it is a prefix menu, but they still have some of your favorites. If you are a fan of sushi, they have excellent sushi rolls there. They prep them right there in their open kitchen, so you can actually watch them making these. Um, Maybe one of my favorite appetizers in all of Walt Disney World, the short rib wontons. Have a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick to them, but fantastic. And then, of course, the California Grill is known for their fillets. Very, very tender. you basically stare at it and then it falls apart. So I cut it with a spoon, as they would say. But I like mine medium rare, and it's perfect medium rare, delicious. Um, One of the best steaks in all of Walt Disney World. And then they have several other options. Again, it's a prefix menu, so there are like 3 or 4 different options for your appetizer, for your entree, and then your dessert. And actually went with the 50th anniversary bite-sized selection. So those were all really delicious, and um, probably one of the other reasons California is super popular is because of its observation deck that they have. So if you have a dinner reservation at California Grill, um, doesn't matter what time in the evening it is, especially if it's early, you get like a 5 o'clock reservation, you can keep your receipt and then come back later and watch the fireworks from Magic Kingdom from the observation deck of California Grill. One of the best, if not the best, fireworks views in all of Disney World. And if you don't have a park reservation, but you can get a dining reservation, you can still see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from this location. And this location especially is fantastic on the nights that they do special events where they do the perimeter fireworks. Typically 4th of July, but especially New Year's. You're going to get a really, really special view from that deck. So if that is a priority for you, if you want an awesome view of the fireworks and also have an awesome meal, consider going to California Grill. And then lastly, I want to mention, as far as dining goes, we actually did make a reservation for lunch here. This is my second time coming to this new location. For fans of the Contemporary for a long time, you might remember the Wave down on the first floor in the lobby of the Contemporary. Recently, the Wave went through a remodel and a retheme and rename, and it is now Steakhouse 71. If you are a Disney history fan, you are going to want to come here solely for the fact to look at some of the archive photos that they have decorated the walls with. You see a lot of construction of Magic Kingdom in the late 60s and early 70s. Lots of photos with Roy Disney, the construction of the Contemporary itself. And then you have some Magic Kingdom further into the dining room itself. There's actually some really cool historical photos of some of the rides and some of the Imagineers working on those. So it's a really cool place. Love the way it's decorated. It's kind of it's a late 60s, early 70s kind of retro feel, but it's more upscale modern. So it's a nice blend of those. But honestly, the Wave was one of my personal restaurants at Disney World for many years, and I was sad when it closed. I'm like, well, I hope they can keep the menu up at least up to par of what the Wave was. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think the Steakhouse 71 menu is even better than the Wave menu. And one of the things they did bring back was their famous kind of bacon and eggs. It is pork belly and cheese grits with a poached egg, and it just all goes really, really well. Very upscale bacon and eggs. And then the last time I was there, so before this trip, again, this was my second time there. I wanted to try something different. I knew that there were a couple of special things on the items on the menu for lunch and dinner, and I wanted to check it out. And I think this is a testament to what Disney World offers when it comes to food preferences or dietary restrictions. They have a really, really great vegetarian dish. Beef Wellington, of course, is a very popular food item in restaurants globally. And what they have actually done is they have taken that beef Wellington and make it into a vegetable Wellington. So all vegetable base, roasted artichokes, and then of course your mushrooms and your onion, but flaky pastry. It was actually really delicious, and I really enjoyed it. But for those of you who just want more of the steakhouse menu, it is there. Um, Salisbury steak is on the menu. There is a fish, but great appetizers as well. We did the onion rings. They were perfect. Not too much batter. It was just the right amount of batter, and they were crispy and hot and delicious. Um, so I had heard rumor again because I tried the vegetarian dish the first time I was there, and I knew the next time I was going to be there, I was going to try the burger because I have heard so many good things about this burger, and I am going to make a statement that I'm always on the hunt for the best burger in Disney World, and there are several of them out there. I'm a big fan of the one over at Geyser Point, the bison burger, but I think this one is the reigning champion of Disney burgers. It is so delicious. It's actually called the Stack Burger. It is two beef patties with American cheese, but then if you look just between the house pickles, by the way, house made pickles, between the house pickles and that first slice of beef, there's actually pork belly. So it is a mixture of pork belly and beef patties. Again, the house made pickles and a lemon aioli for the sauce. And then the bun was delicious as well. So this, in my opinion, now is 100% the best burger at Disney World. And quite frankly, worth the reservation just to go get the reservation for Steakhouse 71 solely to go try that burger. If you are a burger fan, you will not be disappointed. And then probably the most popular dessert on the menu currently is their chocolate cake, and I don't even know what to say. Like it is spectacular. It is, I believe, 12 or 13 layers that coincides with actually the number of floors at the Contemporary. But one of the most decadent chocolate cakes that you will find on Disney property. One of the best desserts for sure. So, all in all, Steakhouse 71, um, California Grill is sometimes a difficult reservation to get. Steakhouse 71 is a little bit easier. So, and I think the environment helps lend to that. It's very family friendly. Again, we took our 4.5-year old, and she had chicken nuggets and fries and was perfectly fine, and we enjoyed the rest of the menu. But Steakhouse 71 absolutely should be on your list. So all in all, I think with the quality of dining options, with the accommodations, the proximity to Magic Kingdom, transportation with the monorail, or the ability to walk from the Contemporary to Magic Kingdom, resort hopping. Resort hopping is a big thing too. You're there for several days and you want to go check out some other quick services or have some reservations at some of the other restaurants around the monorail loop. Grand Floridian has amazing options. We ate at Citricos a month or two ago. Fantastic. Citricos was one of the restaurants that got the plate award for the Michelin ratings in Orlando back earlier this year. Victorian Albert's is now open. So easily the best dining experience at Walt Disney World. Grand Floridian Cafe is a great option. Then moving over to the Polynesian, Ohana, Kona Cafe, Captain Cook's for quick service, Trader Sam's for your lounge, Tambu Lounge up in next to Ohana as well. And then you're also close to Wilderness Lodge and the campground. So Artist Point over at Wilderness Lodge, Geyser Point, and then Hoop-de-Doo over at the campground. So being at the Contemporary, you are in close proximity to a lot of really, really great things, and really some of the highlights of Walt Disney World and some of the best they have to offer, both in accommodations and amenities with pools and restaurants. So you can't go wrong with any of the monorail loop resorts, but the Contemporary is definitely moving up in my rankings for the resort. So um, I just wanted to share that with you guys. We had a wonderful time as a family, and we would, you know, travel is very important to me. Again, I try to when I'm having conversations with clients, I just like to share my travel philosophy. I think that um, you know, having memories as a family are important to me and my wife. You know, we always said before we had kids, when we have kids, uh, you know, we're obviously going to buy her stuff. We buy her stuff for her birthday and whatnot, but we put a big focus on travel and experiences. We want her to experience um, locations and destinations and spend time together because, you know, uh, I can't tell you what I got for my 13th birthday. I don't remember, but I remember our family vacations that we took every year. So I think making those memories are important. So it is honestly a pleasure to for me to help other families experience that as well. So, again, if you are looking for a vacation, both Susie and I would love to help you with that. Email us at imagineerspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know where you'd like to go, whether it's Disney World, Disneyland, you want to go on a Disney cruise, or maybe you want to go out to Aulani out in Hawaii. That is a fantastic experience. Um, uh, Adventures by Disney has private tours all across the globe, private group tours in Italy and the United Kingdom, Paris, and they even have some here in the States as well. So we would love to help you plan your Disney vacation and beyond. We can book all major cruise lines. We can do all major all inclusive resorts. Our agency is one of the top agencies in the country when it comes to sandals bookings. So we know those are really popular, especially for honeymoons. Um, so pretty much wherever you want to go, we would be happy to get you there so you can start making memories with your friends, your loved ones, or whoever you are traveling with. So that is going to do it for tonight's episode. Again, hopefully Susie will be back next week when we record again. And a reminder to our patrons. Thank you, by the way, to our patrons. We couldn't do this show without you. Thank you for your support. If you would like to support the podcast financially, you can do so for as little as $2 a month. And when you do that, you have access to our exclusive content, including the trivia night that we have once a month, which we'll be doing immediately following this show at 9:15. We do it over Zoom. We have a Kahoot that we set up each month. And this month's theme is Disney Channel original movies. So all you DCOM fans, tonight's your night. Come check out trivia if you are a Patreon subscriber. And for the rest of you, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can do so by finding us. We are on social media and all the platforms. We put links for our podcast there on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then our show itself gets uploaded to all major podcast platforms, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google's Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. You can, again, find us by searching for the Imagineers Disney Podcast. Leave us a rating. Tell us what you love about the show. And, tell your friends. Share it on social media. That is the best way to get our name out there. And we sincerely appreciate that. And we appreciate all of you. For those who listen via audio, those who come in on our live shows, we appreciate you. And thank you again for coming on this week for another episode. And we look forward to coming at you next week with another great episode. And until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.